This is the new Craigslist scraper for the auto marketer. We're pretty excited about this, but there are some things I want you to know before you use it that are pretty important about the cost. As you know, the auto marketer gives you $20 of credit each month towards your phone minutes, towards your scraped ads, towards your phone numbers, any costs that are incurred inside the system. And Zillow is, you could probably run one city, one medium to small size city in Zillow and not have to come up with any extra money, to advertise into those areas using the Zillow scraper. But when you use Craigslist, it's going to cost more money depending on the size of the city that you're doing it, because there's so many more ads on Craigslist. Now, the ads that you're going to be paying for on Craigslist are not duplicate ads. You don't have to pay for duplicates because we know that people post over and over and over on there, so it's going to look for duplicates and it's not going to charge you for them. And you're not going to have to pay for ads that don't have any phone numbers, which have maybe 20-25% of the ads on Craigslist don't have phone numbers. So you won't have to worry about that. But you will have to pay for all the other ads. So if I go to, let's say, Indianapolis, and I search under for sale by owner, which is where we scrape, for example, there may be ads on there that are not even properties, where there are investors that have said, "I'll buy your home," or "I buy houses," those types of ads. And those will be scraped, and those you will pay for if they have a phone number, and they will get a text when you do your blast. There's no way for us to filter those out. So keep that in mind. A percentage of the ads on there, probably 10 to 20%, are going to be junk ads. And then there's also people that will post an ad for Florida in Indiana and vice versa. So people aren't always very smart about where they post. And if you're in California, you'll probably find a lot of retirement or vacation homes posted there as well. Even though it's in LA, you'll see a lot of Florida or Bahamas or whatever. So keep that in mind. You'll be paying for those leads as they come through. They're 8 cents a piece to scrape these ads. So let me explain what these are. Each one of these is a different campaign, and these are all active campaigns that are running right now. And then these are inactive campaigns that I've run in the past. And you can turn these on and off just by clicking on the active button or clicking on the pause button or the play button. I'm going to show you how to name this so you can give each campaign its own name, and I usually name it just for the city that we're running it in. And we're doing 3-month sequences on everybody that's scraping, so it's going to drip on them over a 3-month period. They're going to get a text immediately. 4 days later they're getting a text. 4 days after that they get a text, and then every 7 days after that, all the way up to 85 days, they're going to get different messages with different, some of them will have links in them that go to your clone sites, so if you go look at the clone sites, you can get more information about that. In this particular campaign, it scraped 230 ads. 92 of those were sent, and out of that, we got 31 leads. So we had about a 33% response rate based on those that were sent versus those that came back. And then this also shows clicks. And this is clicks for every 3-month sequence that goes out. So right now for you, take these with a grain of salt. This is the number of clicks, and this is the number of people that clicked this many times. So these are the unique clicks, and those unique people, 107 people clicked 141 times. To scrape these 230 ads cost $18.40, 8 cents a piece. But we got credits back of $7.36. So that was the ads that didn't have phone numbers and the ads that were duplicates. It sent out 92 of them at a cost of 2.5 cents per text blast. And then the cost of the lead, we're figuring about 54 cents based on this response rate, and that's based on scraping ads, sending texts, and receiving text, and the cost to do that. So it's about 54 cents. That's an approximation, but it's pretty close. Now, I can reset this campaign. It'll reset these numbers. I would suggest not doing that because it's nice to keep track of how many you're sending out. Instead of resetting, what you want to do is add a new campaign. You can add a campaign, and it's going to open up the same way I'm going to open up this campaign, and you can create a new city or whatever. All right, you can pause this campaign or play it. You can edit the campaign. You can also click here to edit the campaign. You can clone the campaign, so it'll create a duplicate of this campaign, and then you'll have to go in and activate it and change the city or whatever it is you change. So if you have a template that you're using, you can clone it and use it over and over again. And you can remove the campaign. You can delete it. This shows you that the scraper is idle right now, but as soon as it's ready to scrape, which is going to happen in 22 hours because it's set to do it every day, then it'll show scraping, and then it'll go back to idle again. Then it goes over here. It shows that 4 of them are pending. 4 of them are getting ready to be sent out. So it usually takes an hour or 2 or sometimes 4 hours to send out the messages once they've been scraped. Let's go inside the campaign so you can see what we're actually dealing with inside the campaign. First of all, I give the campaign a name. Then I pick a phone number that I want the message to be sent from. And this is a system phone number that you're going to buy. And you can buy as many of these phone numbers as you like by simply going into the phone system. If you're sending in Indianapolis, you want to use a 317 area code because you want it to be a local phone number, a local area code. If I'm calling into let's say Los Angeles, maybe I'll use a 213 area code because I want it to be local to that area. Also, when the system sends out, there's protections on the system, so it won't send out too early in the morning or too late at night. So you want to make sure you have a zip or an area code that is consistent with the area that you're sending to. That way people won't get them too early. The system sends between 9 in the morning until 8 at night, and it looks at the area code to determine the time zone of the particular area that it's sending to. And it's actually not just going to look at your time zone, it's going to look at the time zone of the lead that it's scraped and sent out to. Next, you need to pick the category in Craigslist. And you can pick any category in Craigslist to send to, and multiple categories if you want to. And if you don't want them, you can just remove them. I'm going to suggest just send to for sale by owners if you're using the for rent method. And then pick the city and state that you want, and you can pick any one in Craigslist. And this allows you to put a maximum number of leads on your system, so it can stop after a certain period of time if you know you don't want to spend over a certain dollar figure. So you can put, I just put 10,000 in because I don't mind having a lot of them. I wanted to send to as many of them as you can. What you can do is go into Craigslist, into the area that you're looking at, and see how many ads are there. And then you can calculate the cost. If you know, okay, I'm looking in this area and it's got 250 ads in that area, I can calculate that, and it's going to give me a figure of 250 ads are going to cost $20 in fees, and the estimated cost to send it out about $6.25. A response rate, if it's 10%, you get 25 leads, so the leads coming back cost you about 63 cents, so it costs about $26 for a campaign that goes out to about 250 people. And these are estimates, but I just want you to have a pretty good idea of what that might be. If it sends the entire campaign, this is what it would cost to send out to that entire 10,000 ads, if there were 10,000 ads on Craigslist in this category, which there aren't. I would also, you can put as many cities in here as you want, but I would suggest that you create different campaigns for each city that you're working in so that you can use different from phone numbers as well. So once you put that information in, go to step 2, and you're going to go to campaign filters, and this works just like the Zillow system as well. And by the way, if you're using Zillow and Craigslist, you probably want to start with Zillow and then add Craigslist as soon as you've gotten Zillow started. Zillow has a lot fewer leads than Craigslist, and Craigslist is going to be a lot more expensive to use than Zillow. But you can add criteria here. You can add minimum price, maximum price, how many bedrooms and baths as a minimum, minimum square footage. you can use ads that contain keywords or phrases. So if I want an ad that only includes vacant land, for example, I could type in vacant land here, put a comma in, and it'll put it into this search, and it'll only scrape and send properties or ads that have vacant land in it. I can also exclude ads. Let's say I don't want any RE/MAX agents, so I can type in RE/MAX and have it exclude every ad that includes RE/MAX. Now you're going to be searching in for sale by owners, so there's going to be fewer than that, fewer RE/MAX ads in the for sale by owners, but I've often found that agents post in for sale by owner because they know they get more traffic in those areas. The next step is the message that's going to go out. I'm going to suggest that you use the 3-month sequence campaign. You can edit this campaign, you can create a new campaign, or you can go to these follow-up campaigns and you can find out more about the specific campaigns that you're going to use. But just to make this easy, use the 3-month campaign. It's going to send out a text on day 1 that says, I saw the home you had advertised, wondered if you consider selling it rent to buy. If so, I'd be interested. Let me know. Thank you. And then on day 4, it's going to send another one out, except this time it's going to send a link along with this, and it's going to send them to the rent-to-own seller site. And it's going to explain how we work with sellers doing rent-to-own. On day 8, it sends out another one. This time it has a different URL. On day 15, it sends another one. This time it doesn't have a link in it at all. And it goes on over 85 days where it sends these messages out to each specific lead. So keep in mind, when you're looking at the pricing on this, if you continue to allow it to work and send out these leads, it's going to continue to spend money. So if you've got 10 different messages in a campaign and it's costing you 2.5 cents per message to send out, it's going to cost you 25 cents to send to that lead over that 3-month period. So it's not too expensive to send this, much cheaper than sending out snail mail, but it's still, there's going to be money that's going to be coming out every time. So you've got the campaign filters, you've got the actual follow-up campaign you're going to use, and you can pick a different one if you choose to. I would say stick with this one for now until you understand how these follow-up campaigns work. And if you eventually want to get into these follow-up campaigns and look at the different ones that you have available, you can go in there and learn more about it. Step 4, now that we've sent out the messages, we're going to start getting messages coming back to us. So we want to tell the system how to process those messages. Right here, this tells it whether or not to call them a seller or a buyer. These are going to be seller leads if we do it with the campaign that I'm suggesting. We also want to be able to tell it which of our team members to send it to. So I've got it set up to send one to me and one to Daniel as well. So we'll each get an email every time a lead comes in or a phone call comes in. We'll get an email with the text information that they've sent, or if they sent a voicemail, we'll get a MP3 plus a transcription of the voicemail, and each of us will get that. And I can have as many team members as I want get that message as it comes in. The next thing here is the tags. I like to add tags to everything that I do. So what I'll do is I'll copy this and then I'll paste it. I'll create a new tag and I'll just paste it in here, and I'll create a new tag and it'll add it to this particular campaign. That way, whenever a lead comes in, that lead will be tagged in the lead management system with the tag that I've created for it. And I can create as many tags for each campaign as I want. This next section is set up as a default to try to determine whether or not the people said yes or no or maybe. And what we've used here is a sort of a stupid artificial intelligence that works based on keywords. So it's going to look at the text and look for keywords to try to determine whether they're saying yes or they're serious or where were you located or would you carry a note. Any of these keyword phrases in here, we want it to look for. And if it finds those, then it's going to tag it as a yes, and it's going to put it into a yes follow-up campaign. And that yes follow-up campaign will drip on them over time as well. And if they have anything that says no, any type of no dialogue, then it's going to put them into a no campaign, and it's going to tag it as a no, and going to let us know that these people may not be interested. I would suggest, especially when you're getting started, that you call the people that say no. Even if they say no, call them up and let them know. I was just at the seminar last weekend, the buying event last weekend, and I had everybody call the no leads, and we had a bunch of people putting leads together, putting deals together with no leads, people that said no initially that we were able to convert into deals. And this also gives you more practice at getting good on the phone, which everybody who's getting started here needs to get that practice. All right, so we go to the next step, which is step 5, and this allows you to activate the campaign. Or I can schedule a campaign to activate on a later date. Let's say this is Friday and I don't want it to start until Monday. So I can go in here and I can pick the date, the time, and I can schedule the campaign, and as soon as that time comes around, it'll start sending out those messages to those people. So that's it. Once you activate it, it's going to start sending it out, and it's going to send those out, and it's going to put them into the pending system, and once they're sent out, hopefully you're going to start getting leads coming in. When you look for your leads, go to Lead Management, and you'll find your leads there. You can also click on these buttons to show you what's been sent, what's been scraped, and the leads themselves. But your best bet is to go to Lead Management and look at your leads in that section there. The only thing I didn't explain here is this Restore Default Campaigns. If you delete default campaigns that have these little default next to it, you can hit Restore, and it'll bring those campaigns back. You can also blacklist any lead that you like simply by clicking on that button and putting either their email or phone number in and blacklisting them, and they will never get another phone call or email from this system again. These campaigns have only been running for a few days, and you can see the amount of leads that we've gotten already. You may not get this many leads, but I think you're going to have a good response. I've seen anywhere from 5% response rate all the way up to 75% response rate. So these are not. Let me take a look down here. Here's a 21%er, 47, 55, 30. These are other campaigns that we've run. So these typically get pretty good response rates, and you're going to get 8 out of 10 of those are going to be no. They're going to say no. So that's why you want to call all your no's as well, because they've responded. They're going to be better than straight up cold calls. All right, good luck to you.